gel with hyaluronic acid. 200% instant hydration. Miracles happen.
NPL Live Go Unlimited Excitement. Dabai ke haath ma. Catch the live stream, highlights, NPL packs, free tickets, games and more from NPL with NPL app. App now. Insta for a complete home. Neoglow, world-class range of solar water heaters, water purifiers, chimneys, the gas hobs तपाईं र तपाईंको घरको पूर्ण रूपमा केयर गर्छ किनकि न्यूले बुझेको छ your way of quality living.
तिमीलाई गुलाब साह्रै मन पराए अनि चन्दनको सुगन्धले मनलाई शान्त र पवित्र बनाउँछ
मङ्गलदी गुलाब चन्दन पूजा अगरबत्ती.
तर यो सिद्धि दाग यो निकाल्न easy छ. सर्फ एक्सेल easy wash यसको 10 हातको शक्ति छ यस्तो जसले सिद्धि दाग निकाल्न गर्छ. सर्फ एक्सेल easy wash.
Insta for a complete home.
शिक्षा र खेलकुदका माध्यमले विश्वमा चित्रमा छुँदैछ मेरो सिटिएफ क्रिकेट भन्दै अनि यो सहर चुनाव अगुवाई गर्ने मेरो कलेज मेरो एसपी कलेज मेरो गौरव.
Insta for a complete home.
I dare to express myself freely. I dare to aim with precision. I dare to explore new paths, fueled by ambition and unshakable focus. I dare to imagine a world where innovation isn't just a concept, but a reality. I dare to overcome every hurdle and shine like a beacon. Presidential Graduate School, where every step leads to a new adventure.
सिटिजन लाइफको क्रिटिकल केयर प्रोसेस लिएको छु जसले रोग लागेको थाहा हुने बित्तिकै 50 लाखसम्मको औषधि उपचार खर्च दिन्छ.
त्यो उपचार खर्च अब सिटिजन लाइफले गर्छ. नयाँ पुस्ताका सपनाहरू थाहै नपाइकन आफ्ना सपनाहरू बनिसकेका हुन्छन्. ती सपनाहरूलाई पूरा गर्नुहोस्, खुलेर जिउनुहोस्. सानीमा रिलायन्स लाइफ इन्स्योरेन्स खुलेर जिउ.
Nepal City Hospital, world-class healthcare services, accessible and affordable for all, for a healthy and prosperous nation. Swizzle Dairyको उत्कृष्ट उत्पादक डिलाइट डेयरी व्हाइटनरले अब हरेक दिन डिलाइटफुल. आजका मोडर्न गर्लको कन्फिडेन्टको एउटा आधार सफ्टी स्यानिटरी न्यापकिन्स. विङ्स टु फ्लाइ हाई. मिल्दोजुल्दो नामसँग नझुकिनुहोला. वानको चिन्ह भएको सफ्टी नै रोज्नुहोला.
तपाईँको असली एनर्जी red bull असली नै रोज.
स्वाद साह्रै मनपर्छ है अनि चन्दनको सुगन्धले मनलाई शान्त र पवित्र बनाउँछ
मङ्गल दिन गुलाब चन्दन पूजा अगरबत्ती
Insta for a complete home.
Just a real beauty to get Martin Gupt uphill with a new ball in hand. Can get it up to 140k per hour. Starts with a good hard length, doesn't he? They're coming from a cricketing family. Father Chris, captain New Zealand. Certainly, we've seen the impact of the overseas players right from game one. Locals holding their own, to say the least. Game day 3, 4, and now into game day 5.
Oh, we know that McMullen played well, but it certainly was the Tiger who ensured that his side, the Royals, got something that's more than competitive. He's all power, isn't he, Kugeline? There's not a rhythmical fast bowler. He's very powerful at the crease.
Little bit slingy as well, isn't he? It's kind of slightly round arm action. But when he gets it right, he's one of those kind of bowlers. He'll either go really well or maybe travel around the park a touch. See, because of that big bound, he comes up into his gather. Every single part of his 6'4" frame is utilised to try and get the trajectory on the ball. See, just trying to find that rhythm at the top of the run-up. Right on the money, and if a second slip was in play, it could have been a wicket. Instead, Levitt gets lucky and gets things underway with a boundary.
I had a coach called Duncan Fletcher who insisted that if deep third got beat on his inside, do not walk back in the change room with the new ball. He said as the ball got older, so third could move square, but he preferred that the man of deep third got beat on the outside with the new ball rather than the inside.
And when you say beat on the inside, you mean the deep third being beaten to his left, don't you? And that's because the ball is harder, it will run away quicker to the rope.
Yeah, the new ball tends to go finer, hence the reason why there's slips. Now the man, under those tents, they're a deep third. My old cricket coach used to say to me, he must be nice and fine, just sort of so that if the outside edge is found, the bowler's not penalised.
Beats him for pace as Levitt gives himself some room. Yeah, it also means you won't have a really unhappy and angry fast bowler, which several fast bowlers tend to err on the side of.
It's just is there a little bit of shape, just a hint away from the right-hander? I know that Levitt's giving himself a little bit of room. He's trying to get the ball up and over that infield on the offside.
Deep third. Pretty much straight to him. If he was finer, ironically, it might have been 4. End of the first over, 5 runs from it. It is 5-0.
आजका मोडर्न गर्लको कन्फिडेन्टको एउटा आधार सफ्टी स्यानिटरी न्यापकिन्स विङ्स टु फ्लाइ हाई मिल्दोजुल्दो नामसँग नझुकिनुहोला वाकको चिन्ह भएको सफ्टी नै रोज्नुहोला
Can't wait, won't wait. Sophie's Dog Fantasy.
white gel with hyaluronic acid. 200% instant hydration. Miracles happen.
He wasn't very busy this morning, but as soon as the afternoon game came along, all of those from the far west, and there's plenty who live here in Kirtipur, in this suburb, from the far west, plenty who go to the TU University, plenty who live and work in and around this area. They're the highest followed side on social media, definitely a little bit like those in yellow down south of here in the IPL, showing themselves as the best supported team thus far in the inaugural edition of the NPL. Brandon McMullen, it will be to open the bowling from the pavilion end of the ground. As Levitt goes into the air, this hasn't really gone anywhere. Mid-on comes around and holds on. It's a good catch. It's very, very well judged by Naresh, but Air didn't look overly confident underneath it, but crucially he holds on as the Scot removes the Dutchman.
There was a few converging on this. Man at extra cover. Bowler thought about it for a second, but eventually it was Naresh who shouted out, "My ball," and held a steepler.
Stevie Eskenazi comes to the crease. He's not ready yet. Absolutely entitled to pull out. The man from Middlesex, you heard him chatting to my co-commentator Hilton Ackerman earlier about his rather remarkable journey. South Africa, Australia, through to Middlesex in England. Very experienced player, yet to really show us his wares in this competition. He's found the pitches a little tricky, hasn't he? Great innovation that, isn't it? Being able to chat to the players out there, first time ever in Nepal.
Just have a look at the wicket one more time. Went a long way in the air. Three of them converging, but eventually the decision was my ball. It's nice when they're mic'd up just to give us their thoughts. Sometimes in play it can be quite revealing. You know, we sit up here and we make assumptions and we have these opinions, and sometimes we make an opinion thinking that they haven't thought of it, and they've already have thought of it. They've just moved on to something else. Yeah, Stephen Eskenazi had a really good year playing some club cricket in Australia 2 years ago, where he just couldn't help scoring runs, and the next minute the Perth Scorchers called him up as but I'm not sure whether they called him up to play as an overseas or whether they called him up to play as a local, because he does have both the passports.
The benefits of dual citizenship, I suppose. The way the game is so global now. Just love the enthusiasm of the overseas players for all things Nepal.
I think, Lenny, it's been across the board from everyone that's landed in this wonderful country. You know, you asked me the question, and I've probably given you a very similar answer to every single one. Similar answer to every single one of the overseas players, is that they didn't know what to expect. You hear things, but you sort of need to see it for yourself. And I think every one of them have been surprised.
Edged away half a stop. Was enough to keep it to just the single. Well, you in particular, you thought I was exaggerating about how great it is as well.
I'm just going to be careful the way I say it, because I don't want to sound as though I was expecting something bad. It's just that, you know, you wrote it up to be a fairy tale. And you know, that the Nepalese people and the cricket and the crowd here and the competition hasn't let you down. They certainly haven't let themselves down, but I think I said that word of mouth is the most popular form of marketing, and I think that this competition will benefit from that. Second, 7 for 1.
Watch NPL on the go on Ncell app, unlimited YouTube and other NPL packs. Download Ncell app now or dial *123*9#.
DHI Happier Home. छुट्टै छ है।
The Cricket Association of Nepal, very much a local hero for his exploits on the pitch, and indeed now off it. He was describing in great detail as to how the league has come together, all the things that seem to have fallen in their favour, the spread of teams from right the way across the country, from the far west, from Sudurpashchim out to the far east to Biratnagar. All the little things seem to be designed up and done really well. The names of the teams, the importance of the marketing and kind of culture within each team. Henderson Marie there. What about the playing kits, H? We finally seen all 8 teams there yesterday. Which has been the favourite of all of your 8, just purely from a fashion, a sartorial sense?
Well, I'm a little bit worried that when I make my choice, you're going to think it's because they're 3 from 3. That's not the case. I just like a smattering of pink, and that's why I like the bolts.
I like the bolts one too. Pink's very in vogue these days, but for me, even though there'll be more yellow shirts sold than anything, I love the Gurkha's kit. A little tribute to... And he worked away for at least a couple. Fielder will have to do well. Oh no! He didn't know where it was. And Scott Kugelheim, not happy at all. It's a boundary. It really should have just been 2.
Well, no one misfields on purpose. That I can assure you. And Scott Kugelheim doesn't have to say anything because there's that old saying about if looks could kill. A little error.
Wow. Now, we saw Jimmy Neesham do this once, but maybe even more extravagantly. This one, pace, bounce and carry. And look at the reaction from Binod Bandari too.
What a beauty this is. Beaten. Fingers pointing to the sky.
Groundsman will be really happy to see that. Yeah, for me, it's definitely this Gurkha's kit, the one that I like. Think about the Gurkhali and how synonymous they are with the nation of Nepal. Kind of built in that sort of warrior theme, isn't it? Lovely little fade between the kind of black and gold. Really like that kit. Later, pretty good actually. You're a Bolts man. I'm a Gurkhas man. And you thought I was going to say the Biratnagar Kings, didn't you? Really good over from Kugelheim. He's been very impressive, and he's ticking to 3 have been bowled, 12 for 1.
Solar water heaters, water purifiers, chimneys, like gas pumps and wickets have your way of living.
अब सिद्धार्थ ब्याङ्कको कार्ड प्रयोग गरी खरिद गर्दा मोबाइल ब्याङ्किङबाट टप अप गर्दा रिवार्ड पोइन्ट अर्न गर्नुहोस् सिद्धार्थ रिवार्ड्स यसमा पोइन्ट छ सिद्धार्थ ब्याङ्क सम्बन्ध सधैँभरिलाई
तपाईँको असली एनर्जी, Red Bull, असली नै रोज हो. I dare to overcome every hurdle and shine like a beacon. Presidential graduates.
Gonna fall safely. Very fortunate. Shankar Rana. Brandon McMullen, well, we've waxed lyrical about his batting. He's also able to open the bowling. How much of an asset is he?
Well, anyone with all-round capabilities in T20 cricket, well, you made for it. He reminds me a little bit of Chris Harris, the New Zealander, with his bowling, because there's not great pace to it, but there's a tremendous amount of skill. He has variations of pace, different types of deliveries. Nicely squeezed through cover. The outfield should do the rest and does.
Some of the Gurkha's fans showing us their colours. These colours that I was talking about how well they look. Madaka Topi wearer in the crowd, happy too. Yeah, with his pace, no one can really afford to bowl a low full toss, but not at McMullen's pace. The strength of his bowling is usually his accuracy. Now he goes leg side and he's pumped away, all the way. That's a Siddhartha Bank 6. Eskenazi, 2 low scores coming into today. He's looking to break that streak and he started very well.
I'm not quite sure how he's hit this for 6. Gives himself a little bit of room outside leg stump, and it's just a flip really. McMullen saw him giving himself room, bowled it down the leg side. Gee, that well hit.
That's where he usually is. 5 balls out of 6. Shape away. I like the Chris Harris comparison. The only difference, McMullen taking it away, Harris used to really nibble it in and then maybe leg cut it away. Can swing it both ways too, and it's something he does so well in the ODI game. Scotland often bowl him 6-7 on the bounce at the top, particularly if the conditions are helpful, as they can be up in Scotland. I think the Royals knew about that and said, well, why don't we try it in the shorter format of 20 cricket? Pierces the gap again. It's a similar area, but an even better stroke from Stephen Eskenazi. It makes it 15 from the over, and the chase very much up and running. Gurkha's 27 for 1.
सुजल डेयरीको उत्कृष्ट उत्पादन डिलाइट डेयरी व्हाइटनरले अब हरेक दिन डिलाइटफुल
NPL Live Go Unlimited Excitement. The Bike Hatma. Catch the live stream, highlights, NPL packs, free tickets, games and more from NPL with Ncell app. Download Ncell app now.
DHI happier home. Today sahay.
The ball just starting to go to the fence. Dipendra Singh Airi says time to get some spin on. Here comes Saif Ali Zaid.
He walked from extra cover and he started to have a conversation there with Saif Ali Zaid, Lenny. I think he said more in those 3 seconds than he said to you in the at the toss of the coin.
Well, not a big fan of the dentist, but it was like pulling teeth, wasn't it, trying to get anything out of Dipendra Singh Airi. Said you can talk in Nepali, or he actually speaks reasonably good English. He gives across the impression that he doesn't. But he's just a man of few words. Loves letting his bat. Bowled him. Straight through, Rana looking to go down the ground, and the change in bowling works. The stump's castled.
Well, you just wonder, what was the conversation between captain and bowler? Because there was a lot of finger pointing between the two of them after the dismissal. Nicely bowled, just a little bit of drift, but there's no turn at all. He's just trying to hit it too hard, I think. Yep, the bowling change has worked a treat. Shankarana goes for 3. It's 27 for 2.
Joyful music making that pretty picture even prettier here. You can see most of our games, if they go the distance in the afternoon, will probably end either with that sun just tipping behind the hills, maybe going entirely. Bim Sharkey to the crease. He's a man with a point to prove. Not really in the reckoning internationally in this format, very much a mainstay of the ODI side. Some rather paltry returns in his first couple of games. Has to do more.
I think there'll be a little bit of a concern if the games go the distance and we have a tied match and we've got to go to a super over. They might have to tie a torch to the ball.
That's why the excitement about what Paris Kadku was talking about, the potential of floodlights here in the future. And they've already done marvellous development work at this ground. The outfield's been extended. The stands are in for the first time. Probably being here on this venue maybe 30 different trips. It's never looked better. The outfield, the square, everything. But add floodlights into the mix, that would be quite something.
The only problem with floodlights is you're going to take away some seating space. And at the moment, this ground needs as much as it can get. 5 gone. 30 for 2.
Surf Excel Easy Wash यसको 10 हातको शक्ति छ यस्तो जसले सिद्धि दाग निकाल्न गर्छ Surf Excel Easy Wash
सिटिजन लाइफको क्रिटिकल केयर प्रस लिएको छु जसले रोग लागेको थाहा हुने बित्तिकै 50 लाखसम्मको औषधि उपचार खर्च दिन्छ
त्यो उपचार खर्च अब सिटिजन लाइफले गर्छ
Nepal Medicity Hospital, world-class healthcare services, accessible and affordable for all, for a healthy and prosperous nation.
It's 20. Sharkey has just walked. Stand back, it's going to be Naren Saud. Getting a game swept off his very first delivery. And that raced away for a 4. What a welcome. Left arm spinner from the bat of Bhim Sharkey. What an atmosphere. Very good evening, Monali Patel.
Right out of the middle. And they need so many more of those. Excellent shot for 4. Played it nice. Put it right in the gap as well, in total control of it.
Look at that return, Naren Saud. Shot for him. He was with the under-19 side as well. Was instrumental in taking his team through with captain Hemant Dhami in the last game against Afghanistan and UAE. If that is some turn, then the batter will certainly have some doubt in mind now.
Swept again. Oh dear. That is not the best way to field. Slips on the way down. It allows for a boundary.
Oh yeah, he just overran that one. It's turning out to be a good over, much needed one. Bhim Sharkey has walked in with intent and is executing his plans exceptionally well in the middle. Gets on top of that. Yeah, the cricketer, you need to read that the ball will keep turning on its way to the boundary.
Well, you bring up a really good word, intent. Speak about this cricket, and oftentimes when that intent isn't there, things don't tend to go your way. And that's exactly what Bhim Sharkey's brought out to the middle, is that intent. They were struggling early on. 2 boundaries already in the over, 1 delivery to come.
Good comeback here. Hit for 2 fours in the first 3 deliveries, comes back with 3 dots. 8 runs off this over. Done with the power plays, it's 38 for 2.
म त पैसा लिन्छु आइमी पेमा चाहियो के र खर्च गर्न सजिलो कार्डबाटै किन्छु म लिन्छु म ब्याज पनि पाइन्छ हो विदेशबाट आएको रकम वेलकम टु आइमी पे वालेट आइमी पे भए चाहियो के छ सबै सेट
तपाईँको असली एनर्जी रेड बुल असली नै
Bond Super Light Gel with hyaluronic acid. 200% instant hydration. Miracles happen.
And the excitement certainly understandable as well. They're hoping for another good outing.
It's going to be the end of the power play. 30 runs coming off the first 6 overs. It's a slow start for the Gurkhas.
Yes, no, and that's a good call by the end of it. Looking at the Macmillan has turned up for the Sudurpashchim Royals. What a team man to have. Bat ball, he's always contributing. Very early in this innings, he's accounted for a wicket as well.
Yeah, he's a man for the big games. And he's had an outstanding time with the bat today. Got them in a really good position. And the last thing that the Gurkhas want is a run out. They need to find that communication.
Yeah, talking about Brendan Macmillan. In the first game, he got 36 runs with the bat, a wicket in his 3 overs. And earlier in the day, he got 53 and 36 with 3 fours and 4 sixes. And he's got 1 for 17 in the third. You need players like this. They call them the Swiss Army knife. Very versatile, very multi-dimensional. Spinazi. This time, this could be close. Oh, the throw, the dive, it's all come in. But I'll tell you what, that will have to be referred upstairs. The body language suggests that the fielders are celebrating. Is Beam Sharky struggling here?
Where it's all happening out in the middle. The dot balls creating the pressure. 2 good deliveries from McMullen. Had a bit of a yes-no off the first delivery. And this time, the bails have been whipped off. This could be a really big moment, and the Gurkhas could be in a bit of trouble if they lose their third in this fashion. He's gone by at least 4 inches there. Outstanding work by the fielder, outstanding work by the keeper. And unfortunate for the Gurkhas, they continue to dig themselves into a deeper hole. He's starting to walk. The umpire's yet to put the official decision up, but he can watch himself on the big screen. They just want to make sure that it's the ball that's in the contact with the stumps. It looks pretty clear, but we'll have to get the official confirmation.
You don't chance the arm of Dipendra Singhari within the 30-yard circle there, Monali. He's too quick. He attacks the ball, and the release time is also very, very less. You'll see out very soon on the big screen. There it is.
Yeah, he's got a magic arm. That's going to be the end of Bim Sharkey. 10 off 8. And the Gurkhas 38 for 3. Gerard Erasmus out in the middle. And he starts his innings with a dot. It's been an excellent over so far from McMullen. Yet to get a run off this over. And that last wicket, a shocking run out. That's exactly what pressure brings though, doesn't it? Confusion out in the middle.
Talking about 2 frames in the middle when Bhim Sharkey and Eskenazi were there in the middle. A tall and a short frame. Fairly understand One guy could get to the other end easily, and the other had to actually put in a double sprint to get back. Got to understand the partner at the other end. We saw it with Irie and Mustafa when the Sudurpashchims were batting. One was far more athletic and young, one was more aged and slow, running between the wickets. Got to keep into account the few things when you're running with your partner at the other end, Monali.
Yeah, that's the tricky part with franchise cricket, isn't it? Meeting players for the first time, playing together for the first time. Goes downtown with this, and it's right out of the middle. He finishes the over with an excellent shot, a boundary, and he's off the mark as well. 7 gone, and it's 42 for 3.
सर्फ एक्सेल इजी वॉश इसले कुशन से यस्तो जसले जित्ती दाग निकाल्न गर्छ सर्फ एक्सेल इजी वॉश
Gurkha solar water heaters, water purifiers, chimneys that gas obstacle possess your way of quality living. Can't wait, won't wait. Some feast
Indians in the field. Narain shot into his second and seeded 2 boundaries in his first. Yeah, takes it on the full of the river, sweeps straight to the fielder. The last thing they want to do is get into any kind of a mix-up over here.
Yeah, total confusion. The last wicket was a run out, a great throw, and no surprises to Pendra Singh Airy. And you bring up such a good point about knowing who you're running with. And it's tough when you've just met the person 2 or 3 days before the tournament starts. Full dive, just not good enough. Franchise cricket, you don't have the time to get to know the players that you're going to be playing with. I mean, a lot of these players do play against each other in the Cricket World Cup League too. However, it's very different when you're actually playing on the same team.
Absolutely on cue there, Monali Patel. Ah, that's a lovely hit. That's been deposited over, long gone. Just watch it sail and tell the fielders, go fetch it. He's looking good, Erasmus.
Well, he got off the mark with a 4, also down the ground. This time he goes one better. He goes all the way for 6. He really targets straight over the bowler's head. It's a safe shot as well, and what a distance this was. It's a maximum. Denting the figures a little bit for the bowler. They need more of this.
And they need to target bowlers, and at the moment Narain is under pressure. They need to go after him as a batting unit over here. He's already conceded 2 boundaries in his previous over, a 6 in this, very early in his 6 deliveries. Erasmus looking dangerous. This could be close. Very close indeed. Gets his man. Narain goes celebrating. Gives him a send-off. Erasmus has to depart. And it's all going one way, and that is the royal way.
A bit of a shocker. It was always going to be dangerous to play this shot, because if he missed, the bowler was going to hit. And that's as straight as it gets and as easy as it gets for the umpire. Fantastic celebration. And they are in some serious trouble here, the Gurkhas. After striking a few, he's got to walk back. 10 of 5 for Erasmus.
Yeah, what a boost for the youngster over there. He was under the cosh for a while, hit for a 6 in this over, comes back, keep his nerve, keeps it simple, sticks to the basics. The batter makes a mistake, and there goes Narain South celebrating, giving the send-off. Sumit Maharajan, player of the match in the last game, scored a laborious 40 not out to take his team through against the Yaks. It's a different situation. And he's off the mark with a nice little single towards long off.
When you continue to lose wickets in clumps, it makes it very difficult. Gerard Erasmus, who was just starting to open up those shoulders, went for the switch hit, and it was as easy as it got for the umpire. He was happy though. Always great to see the fans, so they come out, they support the teams that they're here for. It's the end of the 8th, 50 for 4.
Watch NPL on the go on Ncell app. Unlimited YouTube and other NPL packs. Download Ncell app now or dial *123*9#.
मत पैसा लिन्छु आई केमा चाहियो के र खर्च गर्न सजिलो कार्ड पाइन्छु म ब्याज पनि पाइन्छ हो विदेशबाट आएको रकम वेलकम टु अनलिमिटेड वालेट अनलिमिटेड भए चाहियो के छ सबै सेट
I dare to overcome every hurdle and shine like a beacon. Residential graduate school, where every step leads to a new adventure.
You have yellow in one section. Yeah, gets the inside half of the bat. They're pushing for the second. The Royals have been very sharp in the field as well today.
Well, he's got a few variations as well. Just taking pace off on that one, McMullen. It's a difficult game for bowlers to begin with. And the shorter formats can be so tough on the bowlers. You need every variation you can to try and get the upper hand on the batters. Stephen Eskenazi, 21 off 20. They squeeze through for a single. Nowhere close to that delivery. Trying to get the lap in, the scoop. Always makes me a bit nervous when you've lost so many wickets and they go for these unorthodox shots.
Really understandable as well. The team as a unit, you mix desperation and inspiration together. That's when it brings out all kinds of shots in the middle, Monali.
Desperation and inspiration. I'm going to add that to one of the other quotes from today. Point. Just gets it over the bowler's head.
Yeah, this has been a good battle play for the boys in yellow. 53 for 4, yes, they've just gone past that 50-run mark. That asking rate now, exactly 10 and over. They need 115 from 69. Karan Casey still to come out. That's why a partnership here will help their cause.
That required run, it continues to climb. Now over 10 runs and over, 114 required off 68. The big ones aren't coming. And oftentimes after a big one, it's followed up with a wicket.
Nicely played, squeezes that out. Look at that asking rate, 0.06.
Well, they're a bit quiet, aren't they, the Gurkhas fans? Haven't had much to cheer for in the last few overs.
Nicely played. That's in the gap. How well has he accessed the gap over there? Eskenazi, well, he'll have to certainly play some wonderful hits today if he has to take his team through. A 4 to end the over with 9 runs coming off it. It's 59 for 4.
सुजल डेयरीको उत्कृष्ट उत्पादन डिलाइट डेयरी व्हाइटनरले अब हरेक दिन डिलाइटफुल
तपाईँको असली ब्रान्डको असली नै रोशन
DJ Happier Home छुट्टै छ है
a very fine batting effort. Hard work to do from Arjun, but he's finding the gaps beautifully. Using the depth of the crease, getting into position, pick the length early. So you had two boundaries and crossovers here. And these are valuable runs coming in at this time.
Good stroke this from Arjun. Pulls it well and places it well as well. I mean, so many positives in Nepal cricket. 2014 was their first ever T20 World Cup. They were just recently in the T20 World Cup played in the West Indies and in the US. In fact, a lot of those players are featured here in Nepal Premier League.
Yeah, this partnership works 16 right now. 2 is the call. Arjun is coming quickly back for the second. Good running, good response as well. Got to turn the strike quickly. You've got to get the boundaries. You've got to up the game now. Getting into the final 10 after this.
Plenty of positives. The crowds have come in numbers. Plenty of big heavyweight sponsors. A World Cup appearance, and then another one coming up for the under-19 women. They have so many positives for this associate nation, and you feel like it's just going to get bigger and better for them. They've got the right people in the right places. That's the sort of stuff you want to hear from associate cricket.
He's looking good once again. Sumit Maharjan. Oh, misfield. Let's one through. That's 4. Pull up your socks, boys in yellow. The game's not over yet. 12 runs of over number 10 at the halfway stage. Gurkhas need 97 from 60. 71 for 4.
Watch NPL on the go on Ncell app, unlimited YouTube and other NPL packs. Download Ncell app now or dial *123*9#.
Bond Super Light Gel with hyaluronic acid. 200% instant hydration. Miracles happen.
Fresh. Freshness that bonds.
Insta for a complete home.
Bond Super Light Gel with hyaluronic acid. 200% instant hydration. Miracles happen.
Frozen dairy को उत्कृष्ट उत्पादन डिलाइट डेयरी व्हाइटनरले अब हरेक दिन delightful.
DHI Happier Home. छुट्टै छ है.
Eco solar water heaters. Water purifies. Chimneys. The gas offset busiks your way of quality living.
Fresh. बनाउँछ भित्रैबाट fresh.
This was a judged LBW. Shout out to Rasmus. That was a big wicket.
Yeah, the surprise for me has been no Dipender Singh Irie with the ball. Captains tend to fall pretty heavily into one of two types. Those who bowl themselves too much and those who bowl themselves too little. Just wonder as Defender Singari as Avanet Para comes into the attack, maybe one who will bowl him less than, well, we think his skills deserve. Here's the death specialist. Sometimes he bowls 4 consecutively on the bounce right at the death. Today that won't be the case as he'll bowl over number 11.
He was excellent in their opening game.
Get a single. Never know with this fielding unit. Okay, no overthrow. Single. Welcome up here, up to the commentary box. Now, HD, it was 11 months ago I gifted you one of these, but we've never been gifted Dhaka Topis by the Cricket Association of Nepal. So why don't you put one on my head this time? Come on. Come on. You do. On you go. Let's see if this one fits my head. I've got a big head is the problem. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Right, get the hand out of the way. There we are. Not bad. Comes down a bit. The good thing about HD's one, nearly chips on. They'll get home for a single, will they? Direct hit, I think they do. Just check if we're going to go upstairs. We are. Topi's in the commentary box. Dram on the outfield. Vintage cricket in Nepal. Think he got home, H?
I do. I mean, with direct hits, you're just never quite sure, but I think he's okay. Yeah, they're all good. All good.
Ismailajan Shinwari, very experienced international umpire from Afghanistan, rightly presses the not out button. Safely home. There he is. Give us a wave if you can hear us, Ismailajan Shinwari. Maybe not. Stoic in his work. Busy too. Now, HD, for the second time in a year I'm doing this on Global Television. Get that headset off, please, sir. This fits, oh dear, this fits perfectly, I promise you. There it is. The silver locks, the Dhaka Topi, and there's a cheer in the background in the crowd. Namaste, everyone.
And this one has the colours of all my favourite teams as well. A bit of pink and a bit of the Gurkhas as well in there.
Sincere thanks to the Cricket Association of Nepal team, Faris Kadka, Utsav and everyone for gifting us those. You made a comment as well, didn't you? You like the Dhaka Topi on me for only one reason. Come on, H. Can't say stuff off air if you're not going to say it on air.
I do. It finally covers up that bald head.
Thank you, sir. I like my balls. I like the taklu. Why not?
When the sun comes glaring through our commentary booth here, you can see nothing.
Straight up. Surely this is going to be a chance. And held on to. The Royals, they keep roaring. That feels like a big wicket. Because Sumit Maharjan has been so good in this tournament. The player of the match from yesterday, he's gone.
Well, there's big smiles by the fielding side because this is the wicket keeps catch. But that man is confident enough, Naran Saud, to say, it's mine, I want it. I don't care that you got gloves on. I backed myself to take the catch, and he did just that. What a good...
You sense that's a big wicket, don't you, for the Royals? Rashid Khan, who's been outstanding, not just today, throughout the tournament with the ball. There's an awful lot to do with the bats. End of the 11th over. 74 for 5.
happier home. Today sa hay.
I dare to overcome every hurdle and shine like a bee. Presidential Graduate School, where every step leads to a new adventure.
There's Tanka Timalsina up in the crowd, and there's someone a long way up in the trees. Oh, hold on, sir. I think that's a bit dangerous for my liking. Come and see me tomorrow. I'll find a ticket for you somehow. Rahman Mustafa loves playing in this amphitheatre. Turns into a cauldron, a coliseum when he's about. These boys acting up to the crowd.
Yeah, but the Nepalese non-strikers, they don't have to be surprised by someone stopping in their run-up, do they? On a few occasions, they've been warned around the world for backing up.
Naren Soud, he was fresh into the squad. He only landed in last night. He was with the under-19 side. They're playing the ACC Under-19 Asia Cup, including that win over Afghanistan. Strike fight does enough. Cut away. That'll be four. Low full toss punished by Stevie Eskenazi.
Eskenazi really knew the area that he wanted to hit this in. He knew that the man on the sweeper boundary was pretty straight, and there was a man at a backward point, and if he could give himself enough room and slice it, he would find a boundary. That's a good bit of batsmanship from Eskenazi.
Yeah, for me, I love what Dipender Singh is doing here. He's putting all of his teammates ahead of himself, but for me, without doubt, Dipender Singh is a better T20 bowler than Rohan Mustafa. Mustafa is a crafty veteran, there's no doubt. Both bowl in the same style. Rather have seen the captain bring himself on. It'll be 8 from Mustafa's first. 12 have been bowled. 82 for 5.
Dare to overcome every hurdle and shine like a bee. Presidential Graduate School, where every step leads to a new adventure.
The Bible, Asli Energy, Brando, Asli Needles. Eco soda water heaters, water purifiers, chimneys, the gas that is your way of quality living.
There's a bit of a bridge, isn't there, between where these two sides were at after 12 overs. In fairness, the Gurkhas ended pretty well with the ball, particularly this man, Rashid Khan, was outstanding. So they can catch up. Can't really afford one, let alone two really bad overs, and Bahara started very brightly.
Mentioned he bowled well in the opening game for the Royals. Bahari does all those cutters into the surface, mixes and matches, doesn't he?
That's something he's added, because historically he was known as the Yorker King here. He bowled almost exclusively at the death with remarkable accuracy, unerring accuracy. In fact, he nailed it 5 times out of 6. The problem was the 6th one might have been a half volley, and that would generally get pumped out of the ground, so your over might go for 10 or 12. He's added a lot of variety to his bowling, hammering it into the surface, making it die in the surface. All the tricks. That's the leg cutter this time.
What they're doing well here as well, the Royals, is they are flying through these overs. And obviously Mustafa from one end, Bahara virtually running back to his mark. But things are going to just come to a grinding halt here. So I think the keeper has been hit on his knee.
it's just really difficult, isn't it, for the keeper, because they're the ones that come on the one bounce, and it's that unprotected area on the left knee that won't have been overly pleasant. So it took us 4 game days to finally see the Lumbini Lions come into action. They'll be playing again tomorrow. How do you assess things, even in these early stages? You do sense that 3 of the very best sides are probably at numbers 1, 2 and 3 in the table already.
So far, what I've seen, I think the Chitwan Rhinos have got a nice bowling attack. I think batting is something that they'll certainly be wanting to improve on. I think the Bolts have got pretty much everything covered. I like the side, the Royals. Sudurpashchim. They're a nice unit. I think Pakara have got some serious work to do, the Avengers.
Maybe the surprise is Karnali are down there with no wins from 2, despite Shikhar Dhawan's heroics as well. We reckon it's probably going to be 4 games you'll need to win out of 7 to be guaranteed a top 4, but it's quite likely that it could be a bit of a bun fight on 3 wins and then maybe net run rate too.
Well, what tends to happen is if one team keeps losing and one team keeps winning, then that 4th position can go to someone who wins 3 games. They keep beating each other. Well, who knows?
That's where that Kings win yesterday was so good for the competition, in my opinion. It's kind of blown it all wide open there in the middle. This is outstanding from Bahara. 5 consecutive dots.
Now, this is when the real good T20 bowlers, they protect their over. He may get another dot, don't get me wrong, but the real good ones have a delivery where they can just bowl it onto a batter's hip or something and get him off strike, have a single to finish the over. Eskenazi has gone down the wicket and had a word.
Rashid Riaz at square leg, not too happy with it. It's going to be a maiden, and that gets a huge ovation, and rightly so. Well bowled, Abhinash Bahara. It's still 82 for 5.
नयाँ पुस्ताका सपनाहरू थाहै नपाइकन आफ्ना सपनाहरू बनिसकेका हुन्छन्। यी सपनाहरूलाई पूरा गर्नुस्, खुलेर जिउनुस्। Sanima Reliance Life Insurance, खुलेर जियौं।
तर यो जिद्दी दाग यो निकाल्न easy. सर्फ एक्सेल easy wash इसको 10 हातले इसले जिद्दी दाग निकाल्न छ। सर्फ एक्सेल easy wash.
Miyako solar water heaters. Water purifies. Chimneys. The gas offset Ziggs. Your way of quality living. Instar for a complete home.
Wave with the sunglasses at the end, one of the local star singers. He released that Ami Nepali Ferry Bishwo Cup Ma, the exact translation of that World Cup song. As Eskenazi gets in trouble and gives it away. Pressure built at the far end, and the wicket, it comes off the back of it. Yes, it will go to Naren, but realistically, it's all about Abhinash Bahara and those dots from the previous over.
As they bowl in partnerships, well, it's the perfect partnership. The maiden from Bahara forces Eskenazi to look for runs, and Naren is the man that reaps the rewards.
Maybe a shade of the Shikhar Dhawan celebration there too. Eskenazi gone for 37, and it's 82 for 6.